Saturday, April 18th, will be the gathering of the future. The gathering of budding scientists, budding botanists, budding engineers, budding medical specialists, marine biologists, systems architects, and much, much more. The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair will be at the Arc Commander Bay 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The gathering of the future. Students from over 15 schools across Cayman. Save the date, April 18th. The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair, sponsored by CUC, supported by the Cayman Motor Federation. Sign up today. RotaryScienceFair.ky. The future is sparking.
Now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Everywhere.
Can you hear me now?
Everywhere. Everywhere.
Good.
Yes, right from your Android or iPhone. Download the Radio Cayman app now on your Android or iOS phone.
The Radio Cayman app
Is where you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere you go.
Everywhere we go, we go. Everywhere we go, we go.
Find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Talk Today is brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listener participation program.
Talk Today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host, Charles Glidden.
Coming up next, we hear from the Family Resource Center about SNAP. And later in the show, we open the phone lines for open lines where you can express yourself. Talk Today's next on Radio Cayman, 50 years strong. Stay with me.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. I'm Charles Glidden. Thanks for checking me out here and letting me be a part of your afternoon. I'll be here for the next couple of hours, so, we can explore a number of things. It's Thursday, but I think Friday-itis is already starting to break out throughout, the Cayman Islands, right? I've talked about this week, the traffic being light coming into town, but I came in a little later this morning and I was running into traffic like, 9:45. I say, people are already getting started for the weekend. They're not in any rush to get to work today. So 9:45, there was, traffic coming into town, which normally, you could just zip in around that time, right? But everybody has already gone to work. But yes, coming up is the long weekend, and let's all enjoy ourselves, recharge the batteries, and, do what you do on Easter, whether you are, religious and you go and take part in church services, or you're not so religious and you're going camping or wherever. I'm sure a lot of people might be taking off to go to some faraway places also. Well, this afternoon, we're going to hear from the Family Resource Center about their SNAP program. SNAP, Stop Now and Plan. And joining me to tell us all about SNAP is Tori Lewis. She is a parenting practitioner at the Family Resource Center. Tori, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me.
Explain to us what SNAP is. Stop Now and Plan. What's that all about?
Wonderful question. So, SNAP is a program that originates in Canada, of which we have license as an affiliate to run in Cayman at the Family Resource Center, very official. And like you made mention of, it stands for Stop Now and Plan. And the essence of what SNAP is it's a quite intensive and comprehensive 13-week program. It's a joint program for both parents and children. We service the whole family, even if you have a child who's entering the SNAP program, but you have additional children, they have siblings. We have a SNAP siblings group where they can come into lots of great psychoeducational knowledge as well. In our SNAP parenting program, we service the parents of our kiddos with any additional challenges they may have, teaching them the SNAP skill and some of those tools to, as we say, strengthen and widen their parenting competency, confidence, put some extra tools in those toolbox. And when it comes to our SNAP children's group, what we're aiming to teach, right, is in those tough moments when either we're really angry, we're really sad, or maybe we're super duper excited, we're ecstatic. It's very easy in those moments for us to make a snap decision that's going to make our problem worse. As we say in SNAP, it's going to make your problem bigger rather than keep it smaller. What we're aiming to do within our children's group is to have them stop, slow down, and think before they make certain decisions. Stop now and plan. So in those moments where I'm extremely furious because somebody on the playground took my favorite football, how do I stop? Calm down, calm my body down. We always tell our kiddos in SNAP, one of the first points is bodily awareness, right? When some of our kiddos come in, usually on the younger side, SNAP services children anywhere from ages 6 to 12, boys and girls, although SNAP is a gendered program, so it either will be a SNAP boys group or a SNAP girls. We don't mix the two. The first step really is having them become a little bit more attuned to their bodies, right? You and I will know that after many, many years of being on this planet, we know what being angry feels like. We know what being sad, furious, jealous feels like because we experienced those emotions a number of times and we were helped and aided along our way to understand what that feels like. What we find, especially within some of our younger children, especially around that like 6 and 7, emotions are usually either the good emotions or the bad emotions, right? And what we really try to push forward is there are no bad emotions. No emotion is inherently bad. There's only pleasant ones. And then there are some that don't feel so pleasant. And those are emotions like anger and sadness and jealousy and frustration. The first step to that is understanding your body where, okay, my ears are getting a bit hot. My palms are sweaty. I'm shaking. I'm making fists. My body feels tense. What is my body trying to tell me? We all know that when we're angry, let's say for me, my fists ball up. I hunch over. I get really tense. I start to feel a pit in my stomach. Or when I'm sad, sometimes I may cry. My facial expression may change. All of these are what we call body cues. Your body is cueing you and telling you that you're having a feeling and you're having an emotion. Getting our SNAP kids to be attuned to their body and understand, hey, I'm feeling really tense right now. My hands, they're making fists. That means I'm feeling a feeling, right? And after about 3 or 4 weeks, they're really able to narrow in on some of those body cues and say, Miss Tori, my hands are making fists. That means I want to use my fists, right? And then also bridging from our body, looking at our thoughts. What we know is that as humans and as individuals, we have a lot of that internal self-talk. And sometimes that self-talk is really negative. We call those hard thoughts. We all have thoughts in our brains of this person didn't invite me to their birthday party. They hate me. Nobody wants to be my friend. This always happens to me. Sometimes those are really negative, and those thoughts can spur you on and make your problems bigger rather than keeping it smaller. If you believe those truly hard, big hard thoughts, as we call them, what we're aiming to do is, again, stop now and plan. Challenge some of those hard thoughts that you have. We know that sometimes the automatic thought, the one that's first in line in your brain, is not always the best one. It's usually quite negative sometimes. Most times it's unhelpful, and most times it's untrue. We want to challenge our thoughts and come up with what we call a cool thought. Now, a cool thought is not the direct opposite of a hard thought. If my hard thought is, oh, they didn't invite me to their party, nobody likes me, everybody hates me. My cool thought isn't going to be, everybody loves me, I'm the most popular person in school, I have all the friends. It needs to be a statement that's going to be realistic and one that's going to be helpful to you. So a cool thought may be, that's really unfortunate that happened. That wasn't really kind, but I know that I have 4 really good and true friends that wouldn't do something like that to me. And maybe I should focus my energy on nurturing those friendships. It needs to be a statement that's going to help you make a good plan, right? And plans are actions. Those are the things that we do. Whereas I could decide I get really mad and want to hit the person on the playground. A good plan, maybe I'm going to tell the teacher. I'm going to stand up and be assertive for myself, right? Without using unkind words or using my body physically to hurt somebody. The plans are things that are going to be a win-win. They're not going to hurt anybody, and they're going to make you feel good about yourself. Most importantly, they're going to keep your problem tiny, right? We don't want to inflate them. We want to shrink them down in size.
That is quite a spectrum you just covered. Well, we're going to stick a pin there. We've got to take a break. We'll be right back and hear more about SNAP.
Good news for babies. The updated national immunization schedule now includes an important improvement to the hexavalent vaccine, protecting babies against 6 serious diseases, including hepatitis B. Hep B can cause lifelong liver problems, including cancer and cirrhosis. Your baby will get the shots at 2, 4, and 6 months, with a booster at 18 months. Vaccination trains the immune system to fight against infections and keep the community healthy. Talk to your doctor about the updated vaccine schedule today. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability and the Public Health Department.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Hey Cayman, this is DJ Lynn. Catch me live weekdays from 7 till 10 a.m. on the Morning Breeze, our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM. We're waking you up with the best adult contemporary hits with the 70s, 80s, 90s, and much more. So start your morning the Cayman way with me, DJ Lynn, on the Morning Breeze.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and I'm talking to Tori Lewis. She's a parenting practitioner at the Family Resource Center, where she's telling us about a program called SNAP, Stop Now and Plan. You mentioned something in there about, nobody likes me. I don't have any friends. That's a big problem for the teenage years, right? Any young child, I guess, that they want to have many friends. But I guess the thing to learn, as you mentioned, is the quality of the friends rather than the quantity.
Absolutely. I think you've made a very good point. We see that very commonly with our teenagers. And what we have to recognize is that a lot of those seeds and those roots take hold from lots of younger ages, right? And it just expands and moves forward as you grow. What we're noticing in terms of trends is an element of bullying, social bullying, things like excluding people, spreading rumors, can take a toll on some of our kiddos, right? And
that exclusion, I mean, there are kids who will use that as a weapon, right? Mm-hmm.
I definitely think there are experiences where exclusion is a very powerful force, and the level of isolation has become so intense, like we spoke about before we went on air, that unfortunately, due to experiences like that, kids will oftentimes be saddled with labels that are very hard to shake, especially as you move through primary school and high school. those children that seem as though people might describe them as weird. They're not necessarily very sociable. These are all things that through social bullying, exclusionary practices, something as simple as, I don't want to sit next to this person in school, it really just perpetuates the cycle of isolation, which then causes a whole turn of other issues as our young kiddos move on and as they age and find their way into high school.
What children is this program aimed at?
So I like to say that everybody can benefit from the SNAP skill, right? Even myself as an adult, I practice SNAP every single day that I'm alive. Our SNAP program is targeted towards parents and families who have young boys or young girls between the ages of 6 to 12 who may be experiencing different forms of emotional or behavioral challenges, whether at school or home or out in the community. And it's really intended to service these families in our community and support them in building that level of confidence, as a parent, right? We're presenting you with new skills, different strategies, ways of thought in approaching your child, but then also on the back end, working with the children, helping them to understand their emotions, the fact that their actions have consequences, but also the intention of, how do I make good choices that I can be proud of, right? That's the key for us. We always want to make sure that we can be proud of the things that we say and do.
Are a lot of these children labeled as a problem child or troublemaker?
I think, unfortunately, when we look at any child who is to the point where they are receiving any form of additional support or intervention outside of school and home, there are times where these children are unfortunately labeled as maybe troublemakers, naughty children, the ones that have to maybe be seated next to a teacher. And that's really unfortunate, because what we've found is that once we are able to be in a clinical setting and provide these skills, they flourish, honestly. We have seen so much fantastic progress and change over the years that we have been running this program. We run SNAP Clinical for 13 weeks, 3 times a year. And we also run a SNAP Clinical Summer Camp, which is 2 weeks over the summer, where our aim is to reach new families for induction into our more intensive and comprehensive program throughout the year. What we find is that after we complete these programs, parents will note changes to us consistently as we continue to engage with them. So even after we conclude the SNAP program and everybody graduates and they move on, we get such fantastic testimonials from not only children but parents about how this program has changed their lives. It's made them more confident in their parenting abilities. It's helped their relationship with their child. Their child is more improved in school, socially, when it came to the behavioral challenges that were noted when they first began the program. And yeah, we've noted fantastic change over the course of the program.
So, I mean, it's often said, there's no course to become a parent. Nobody teaches you how to become a parent. But it sounds like that's sort of like what you're doing. I mean, you're giving parents some pointers here and coaching as to how to deal with their child. I
love that, because I say that very frequently. There are many books on how to be a parent. Sometimes they don't always agree. There's no one book that says this is the perfect way to be a parent. What we're trying to do in SNAP is simply assess the family, right? What are some things that you have found that have worked so far? What are some things that have not worked, right? We know that every child and every family is unique. And as parents, you are the expert on your own home and on your own children. You have this vast knowledge. Our role is simply to be consultants, really, and help you along your journey, provide you with some additional tools. You may say, Tori, I tried this for 4 weeks. I didn't find that it helped me that much. And I'll say, okay, let's unpack that, right? And let's look at some other routes we can take and some other ways and some other strategies I can provide that'll help support you on your journey.
So how do these parents and the children find their way to you? I mean, are they referred to you, or how does that work?
There are many different avenues. So we get referrals from teachers, school counselors. We get referrals from other independent agencies, places, counseling agencies, our sister agencies within the Department of Counseling Services. We also simply get self-referrals where parents will see our social media pages, our newsletters, flyers about the programs that are coming out and that are going to be run within the quarter, and they themselves will seek us for parenting support. Referrals from physicians, pediatricians, we get them all and we welcome them all.
So anybody who wants to take advantage of this is free to contact you.
Yes. Yeah. Our services at the Family Resource Center, all parenting support and intervention is free to any person who is legally resident in the Cayman Islands. And what you have to do in order to engage in services with us is simply follow us on our social media pages at FRC Cayman, or you may go on our website, frc.gov.ky, or just call our main line number in order to set up an intake appointment. That's 949-0006.
So you have a new intake now for a new SNAP program?
So we just currently started a SNAP clinical cohort at the midpoint of March. So we're really fresh into it. We're about 4 weeks in. It's going swimmingly, fantastic. So we will be starting a new cohort in the fall. So what we love is to give ourselves lots of time to reach new families, right? To kind of drop that interest. And so we will be taking registrations to add to our wait list in order to be on our fall cohort.
Give us a little picture of, what it's like to be in the program, what people go through.
I love that. So our programs run after hours, obviously to accommodate parents and families. So that is going to look like 5:30 to 7:30 in the evenings. What we do is you attend with your child. We will have a bit of dinner. We use this as a fantastic opportunity for after a long day where you mightn't have seen your child to engage with them, play some table games, would you rathers, have some genuine conversation, right? And then also build those relationships between the other families in group. What we'll find is that usually by week 4, all of our participants have a very strong relationship. All of the boys or girls are friends, and it's a fantastic environment to be very supportive and for you to lean on your fellow parents who are engaging in this program to say, I'm having these challenges. They might be having the same, and you can give each other feedback. This is what I'm trying. That didn't work. Here's what I'm doing instead. And you really feel as though it's an area of non-judgment. We're all here for the same reason, and we're all coming into that same knowledge, and we can lean on each other. After that, we'll split into groups. We will take the children for our child facilitators group, and the parents will stay in their SNAP parenting group. They will learn SNAP parenting skills, like learning how to give effective directions, for example. And with our boys, we'll be talking about topics like bullying, how to stay out of trouble, how to identify some of those hard thoughts and cool thoughts, and even identifying some of those feelings and body cues and building their emotional vocabulary.
So in the instance of bullying, when you're talking to the children, are some of those that are in attendance both victims of bullying and the bully?
I think it's quite on par with every other space that we see, right? We have some of those who are experiencing bullying, right? Whether it's social, physical, verbal. And then we have some of our kiddos who may be on the other end of it, right? Who may be the perpetrators of these acts. And our aim really is to see both sides, to see and understand how when you experience an event like social or verbal bullying, how that translates into actions, right? Whether that's your body cues, how you're thinking, choices that you may make, and then also thinking about where somebody is coming from. What prior experiences have happened to shape the person who is perpetrating these acts of bullying. And really, again, like I mentioned before, stop now and plan. When you're in the heat of the moment where you know I can either make a good decision or a poor decision, I'm going to stop, calm my body down, think about the consequences of my action, and also make a choice that I know not only my parents can be proud of, but I can also be proud of.
We're going to pause here, and if you have a question about this program, you can call us at 1-800-534-8255. That's courtesy of Flo, or 949-8037, 949-6990, and the WhatsApp number 925-3261. We'll be right back after these messages.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Kim and Brack and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Attention all farmers, importers, exporters, and valued customers. The Department of Agriculture made an important upgrade to better serve you. Effective immediately, their main reception will be accepting card payments only for key services such as rabies vaccinations, import and export permits, farmers' ID cards, animal adoptions, and processing. No cash payments will be accepted for these services at reception. This change will provide a more efficient service for everyone. So, remember to bring your debit or credit card when visiting the Department of Agriculture. For more information, call 947-3090.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and we're hearing about the SNAP program at the Family Resource Center from Tori Lewis, who is a parenting practitioner at the Family Resource Center. You said that in the parent group, and do you have both parents there? You try to get both parents to come?
As much as we can, yes.
Yeah. So you were saying that parents will coach other parents, from their experience. What about the kids now? Do they kind of reach out and say, well, you might want to do this?
Absolutely. We, in the many cohorts that I have run, always have a few kiddos who make it their absolute joy and mission to support their fellow SNAP boys.
Just get a little closer to the mic for me. Yeah.
Whether that's simply providing an ear to listen when maybe one of your group mates has had a bad day at school, maybe they've had a fight with their friend, or they're upset about something that their parent said to them. We find that all of our child group participants are extremely compassionate, right? And my favorite element of this group mate relationship is we practice very often in our child group setting real life skills. So we have a section that's called Moonwalk, which is essentially their free play. We'll play dodgeball. We also will play basketball, football, whatever our boys enjoy. And that's a fantastic opportunity for them to practice the SNAP skill in real life with our coaching. We provide those opportunities for them to feel those emotions. We're not going to sit here and rig the game so that you always win, so that you don't feel uncomfortable, right? Those are real life experiences that you're going to have at home, at school, out in the community, right? So when those times do happen, our role as a SNAP coach, as we call ourselves, is to help them on that journey, help them recognize what they're feeling, what their body is telling them, what their thoughts are, how do they challenge those thoughts, get into a space where they can make a good decision and then action it. What we'll find is that maybe about midway through the program, we have some of our kiddos who are what we call mini SNAP coaches. They're so supportive of their group mates, and they'll go over and say, I know you're feeling really angry right now. Remember what Miss Tori said, we have to use our stops. And our stops is really any action that you're going to do to calm yourself down. So some people, that's taking a drink of water, taking some deep breaths, counting to 10, closing your eyes, whatever you want to do. And we'll find that our kiddos will go and say, you know what, Miss Tori is telling you you need to use your stops, and let's take some deep breaths together. And they're incredibly supportive in that way.
So you kind of discover some natural-born coaches there?
Natural-born coaches.
Now, you said you twice you've heard to boys.
Yes.
What about the girls? I mean...
So our SNAP Girls group is also available based on need. We have ran more of the SNAP Boys cohorts in recent months. Our SNAP Girls generally follows the same structure, looking at how they're feeling, recognizing those thoughts, how to calm their bodies down. We also know that we do have different considerations to make when we're thinking about group composition between boys and girls, because they do present in extremely different ways. Something as simple as conflict. Mm-hmm. Conflict in a boys group may look like, Miss, my hands are balling up because I feel like I want to kick the ball away from him, right? Whereas, as you know, girls, they may externalize that in a different way. They may externalize that more verbally, socially. So we always look towards those trends when we're working with children.
Well, I got a little message here for you on WhatsApp. It says, "Good day. I really enjoy listening to the young lady. Can hear she's truly smart at what she's doing with SNAP. Keep up the good work." How does that make you feel?
That is what we call at FRC a cup filler moment.
A cup filler?
A cup filler moment. Those days where you're running low, you have so many back-to-back meetings, back-to-back clients. There are those moments, the breakthrough, the light, that truly reminds you why you do the things you do every day, why you support the parents, support the family, you go out into the community, and it reaffirms that you are servicing the needs of a community. I think personally, servicing the needs of a community from a parenting standpoint is incredibly, incredibly important, because you are shaping the future generation of the Cayman Islands, right? And the faster we can provide support and provide intervention to those who need it, we are only increasing the level of resilience and support that our young folks moving up are going to have. We are going to hopefully better equip them, right, for any challenges they may have going forward, and make sure that we're setting them up for success, not only the children, but the parents, right? You know that the same challenges you have with a 4-year-old are not going to be the same challenges you have with a 16-year-old, right? What we're doing is forming the basis of a parenting toolbox where, you have core skills that you can draw on as your children age, right? That's what I mean. We're setting the entire family up for success.
And it's important, from my experience as a parent, to place that foundation early, right? Because if it's not going right, like you say, when they're 5, 7, 8, it might be much bigger problems at 15, 16, right? It's
definitely. I think the key here is to focus on support and intervention within the families and within individuals at as much of an early stage as we can. I think the concept of where we're at in the world now is we spend a lot of time and resources looking at the after effects, right, of certain challenges, experiences, and actions. What we're doing is meeting clients where they're at, supporting them wherever they're at on their journey to increase that confidence and build families. We're building happier, healthier, stronger, and more resilient families. And families are the heart of the community, right?
Any particular instance of I guess do you refer to them as clients?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That here you had a client that was a pretty serious situation that in the end you felt really good about how you resolved it and helped them.
I think that applies for every single client that we see. I mean, no matter what scale of challenge they're having, knowing that we have had even a tiny impact, right? A speck of sand on their journey, to know that not only parents, but the children within our group have taken on, internalized, truly accepted and practice the knowledge that we are sharing, right? Using this clinical space to process the challenges that they're having, knowing that they're not going to be judged, that they're in a supportive environment, and taking those skills and moving forward. Absolutely. My greatest joy is being out in the community, whether it's at Price Right or at the beach or wherever. We attend the schools, sometimes also to do a program called SNAP Schools in the classroom. Seeing, even in the hallways, a child that was maybe engaged in a SNAP clinical program many years ago. They're grown up now, 4, 5, 6 years older, whatever it may be. And seeing them recognize you and say, Miss Tori, I'm practicing all the skills you guys taught me, and I'm doing so good in school now. I'm doing better in my math test, and I'm not getting in trouble so more. That's truly the heartwarming moment for all of us across the board. When you maybe close a client or our families move on and they graduate out of program, they'll write notes and letters and fabulous testimonials about how this program has changed their life, and seeing that in action is that cup filler moment for us.
So when a parent commits to this program, what are they committing to? What are they in for? For how many weeks is it?
It's 13 weeks.
13 weeks.
So it's an intensive program, and it's a large commitment. We can understand on the part of parents and on the part of the family, juggling work, extracurriculars, general household maintenance, picking the kids up from school, getting them to programming, all of the things that you have to coordinate as a parent, which is what makes the commitment that we receive from our clients even more valuable, because we know all of the extra things that you're having to juggle. And the commitment that you've made to a 13-week program that runs after hours is a testament to the love that you have for your family and your want to strengthen and nurture those relationships, and to see those effects. You're putting in the work and you're going to see those effects down the line.
Do most people make it through the 13 weeks?
Yes. Most people make it through the 13 weeks. We have a fantastic success rate, a graduation percentage, yes. Yeah. We have very few families who aren't able to make it to graduation.
So the next cohort is?
It's going to be fall 2026, so about September.
And so people can start to sign up for that from now?
Yes. So we actually have an intake process where we're not just going to push you through the programs, right? We want to, on a deeper level, understand your family. What are some of the challenges that you're experiencing, your family composition? Do you have 2-year-old, 4-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, right? And to get some of that demographic information, and then move you through to have a conversation about what program would best suit your needs right now. So we have a wait list running for our SNAP clinical group in September.
So that's like a little interview like that they have to participate in?
Yes. So across the board, when it comes to any kind of clinical service, whether it's with the Department of Counseling Services, somewhere like Wellness Center, Aspire, you always have to go through just a general first meeting where we want to understand what your perception of the challenges are, get some of that information that we're going to use to help inform your treatment.
Is the child in on this also?
So for our SNAP clinical intake package, as a child facilitator, we always also meet with the kiddos before they come to group. And that's a fantastic opportunity to get to know them a little better, what their likes and dislikes are, their perception of the challenges that they're having, and also, on a more entertaining note, get to know some of their favorite activities. If they love basketball, we're going to play it. If they love dodgeball, we're going to make it as enticing to be in group as we possibly can. We want it to be a fun experience.
Where do you hold this? Where do you meet?
So we meet for our SNAP clinical program at our offices that are located at first floor Adonis House, 75 Fort Street.
So you play basketball?
We have a fantastic basement, which all of our SNAP kiddos love to be in, and they go wild. We play dodgeball, football, anything you can imagine takes place in that basement, and they love it. They love their moonwalk time.
Yeah, sounds like a great place to you have your little hideaway on the ground there. Tori Lewis, thank you so much for joining me today. And Just one more time, how do people contact you?
You can contact us at www.frc.gov.ky, or you can call our mainline number 949-0006.
Thank you for coming in and telling us about the SNAP program.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Yeah. It's 1 o'clock. Let's see what's making headlines.
We are Radio Cayman.
Covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm Elizabeth Charles. Older persons 65 and over are invited to a free Love of Picture Books event on Wednesday, April 22nd from 10 to noon at the Intergenerational Hub next to DHL. The session is hosted by retired educator and CNCF Education Officer Virginia Foster and features picture books on Easter, God, and Mother Earth. Something fun to do over the Easter weekend indeed. In international news, U.S. President Donald Trump has fired Attorney General Pam Bondi, a White House official said today. The move follows mounting frustration over her performance, including her handling of Justice Department files tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Trump had also grown frustrated that Bondi was not moving quickly enough to prosecute critics and adversaries. In other news, a U.S. judge has given preliminary approval to Bank of America's $72.5 million settlement with women who accused the bank of facilitating their sexual abuse by Jeffrey Epstein, Reuters reported today. The plaintiff's lawyer may seek up to 30% of the settlement for legal fees. A U.S. district judge has set an August 27th hearing to consider final approval. Those are the latest headlines. I'm Elizabeth Charles.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
At HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Captain Charles Leonard Kirkconnell, OBE 1922 to 2010. Captain Charles Kirkconnell has donated land on all 3 islands for projects close to his heart. In Cayman Brac, he donated the land on which now stand Faith Hospital, the Dental Clinic, and Kirkconnell Community Care Centre. The Booby Pond Reserve on Little Cayman began with his gift of a small strip of land along the pond, and in 2001 to 2002, he donated the land for a new church in Blossom Village. Bethel Baptist Church on Walkers Road, Georgetown, is built on land given to the church by Captain Charles and his brother. He represented the Sister Islands in the Legislative Assembly for almost 13 years, 8 of which he served on Executive Council, holding the portfolio of Communications, Works, and District Administration. During his tenure, the road across the bluff was completed. The Aston Ruddy Civic Center was built. The Cayman Brac Airport runway was lengthened to 6,000 feet, and a new terminal and fire station were built. New docks were built on both sister islands, and a new Port Authority building was undertaken. Captain Charles and his wife Carol Jean Nee McIntosh have 5 children. Captain Charles Leonard Kirkconnell.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Happy 50th anniversary Radio Cayman. What an enormous legacy that has been made by Radio Cayman. God bless all of the employees, past and present, that have made Radio Cayman special. So as we celebrate this 50th anniversary, as we celebrate improvements and renovations to Radio Cayman, let's be thankful for the first 50 years, and Lord willing, ingenuity willing, collaboration willing, another 50 for Radio Cayman. Happy anniversary.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. Let's take a quick look at the weather here. Here in Georgetown, it's 82 degrees. It feels like 89, though. And the wind out of the east-southeast at 8.5 knots. And today's forecast is calling for scattered showers. And that is the forecast straight into tonight. And winds are expected to be at 10 to 15 knots out of the east with higher gusts, and seas moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. And yes, there are some spots of rain all around Grand Cayman. Looking at the weather here, so rain in the area. Yes, some over there in the Sister Islands also. And I guess some people probably already taken off for the Sister Islands. Little Cayman, enjoying a relaxing time there, getting away from it all. Little Cayman is certainly the place to go. Well, yesterday we were talking about Easter and, what was the traditional things done in the Cayman Islands during Easter time. And we had quite a discussion on that. And one of the things that was pointed out, that a big thing was, the regatta that was held during Easter in Cayman. One of our frequent callers was describing it as, you look from the South Sound, Southwest Point, I guess it is, all the way down to Northwest Point. It was white sails out there. And actually, I forgot to bring this up, and no one else did. Actually, the Easter Regatta is still, very much alive, thanks to the Cayman Islands Sailing Club. They have their annual Easter Regatta. They've been doing it for 60 years. They're celebrating their 60th anniversary. And the event, which serves as one of the club's most enduring traditions, officially starts on Good Friday, the 3rd of April, featuring the Round the Island race. So the Easter Regatta, alive and kicking right here in the Cayman Islands. So all those sailors, from the sailing club, participating in that. On Saturday, the 4th, they have the race back to the Sound. This leg of the competition is scheduled to begin at 10 a.m. from Sunset House, and taking the fleet north along 7 Mile Beach. So once again, you'll see sails out there on Saturday along 7 Mile Beach and around Northwest Point before returning to the North Sound. So if you enjoy a good regatta, you can do that this weekend. See the sailboats going around Cayman, and you can watch it from the beach, along 7 Mile Beach if you're going to be down there. If you want to get on the air with me, chat a bit, you're welcome to. Numbers to call, of course, are 1-800-534-8255. That's courtesy of Flo. You can also call on 949-8037 and 949-6990. And WhatsApp, 925-3261. Drop us a message. Give us a call. You are welcome to do that, and we could chat a bit. In the meantime, it's been a while since we have had one of those big fires at the landfill. Remember a couple of years ago, fires were breaking out here and there, and they had some pretty big blazes. Take them days to get it under control and put it out. And it's been a while since we've seen one of those flare up, but we did have one, a small one, last week, and they're saying that it was caused by a battery, and press release has been put out about the dangers of disposing batteries into regular trash. They should be disposed of separately at a proper place, and but that blaze up there at the landfill, kind of reminds us that problem has not gone away. It's still there. And what are we going to do about it? Because, one of the funny things, I don't know if it's funny, but one of the things about living on an island like Grand Cayman, right, is that you really feel the limits of space. Things can get crowded, and we're feeling more and more of that. But yeah, you feel the limits of space, whereas on a big continent, a big country, the trash kind of just disappears into some far-off, unseen landfill. And most people never think about the trash again once it leaves their home. But on an island, especially one with a growing population like Grand Cayman, the trash doesn't disappear. It piles up, gets higher and higher. It becomes a hill. It even becomes a landmark. It becomes Mount Trashmore, right? And right now, Grand Cayman is facing, a very real and serious question. What do you do when your landfill is almost full and you've got, let's call it 100,000 people? We're close enough to that. I think that we can just round it up, right? 100,000 people and growing and producing more and more waste every year. What's the plan? This isn't just, hypothetical, right? Because back, what was it? I think 2024, yeah. We were told that the Georgetown landfill is expected to reach capacity in somewhere around 5 years, that we had 5 years left of use, that we could have a actually functioning landfill. We deposit about 130 tons of waste into that landfill site every year. 130 tons. And that's far above what any previous planners predicted, a decade or so ago, or even more. So today I thought I'd talk about some realistic alternatives that I did my research on. Not fanciful things, not those maybe one day kind of technologies, but things that are actually happening in other places, proven options that other island communities around the world are using. Because the truth is, Grand Cayman isn't alone. Islands everywhere, from Bermuda to Mauritius to the Canary Islands, they've had to answer the same question, and they've come up with some alternatives. Right up at the top of the list is waste to energy, turning trash into electricity. And this is a big one because that's the direction that many islands are going. Waste to energy, or as it's referred to, WTE, is exactly what it sounds like. You burn waste in a controlled high-temperature facility and use the heat to generate electricity. Islands from Japan to Singapore, Mauritius, and the Canary Islands, they rely heavily on this because they simply don't have the land for endless landfill expansion, as some places had. Now, if you remember, we had regen. Regen. And, that got bounced around a lot. Political turbulence. But the underlying idea is sound, and it's widely used around the world. We spent 7 years of negotiations that came to an end when the last government pulled out, claiming that the costs had just escalated beyond a realistic figure for the country to deal with. But for an island of, like I say, 100,000 people, the WTE is one of the really only scalable long-term solutions that reduces, landfill use and produces energy. There's also the idea of aggressive recycling. Recycling alone is not going to solve the problem, but I think that was part of the regen project too, right? That would be an element of it. Recycling can dramatically reduce the volume of waste that ends up in a landfill. Some islands, such as Aruba and Bermuda, have gotten very good at this. They recycle large amounts of glass, plastic, and metal, with some of them achieving recycling rates of about even above 50%. Of course, here in Cayman, recycling does exist, but it's still limited, and the government has a plan that calls for more island-wide collection sites, new processing facilities, expanded recycling of construction waste, metals, and green waste. And I think the Flowers Group has that glass crushing program, and that helps. That helps to reduce the landfill pressure. Recycling isn't very glamorous, but it's one of the fastest ways to buy some time while we can, get a bigger infrastructure in place. And I see more and more people, going to those drop-off sites that they have at gas stations or some parking lots at grocery stores. And unfortunately, some people also drop off things that they aren't supposed to be dropping off there. Right? You go to the recycling place where you drop off your cardboard or your glass, and you see sitting beside the dumpster a TV set. Well, that's not what that point is for. You don't take the old TV set and leave it there sitting beside the dumpster. Another alternative is composting. Composting. It's low tech, but it has a high impact. Up to 30% of island waste is organic. Do you know that? 30%. Food scraps, yard waste, vegetation, and composting that material is one of the easiest wins. Islands like Palau, Maldives, they've shown composting can dramatically reduce landfill volume. And Cayman is already experimenting with this during Tropical Storm Grace. Residents dropped off green waste at temporary district depots. The government has got plans in place to create permanent green waste sites to divert vegetation away from the main landfill. And composting doesn't require massive infrastructure either. It just requires organization and a place to put the finished compost. Another one is circular economy plus waste reduction. This is the use less, reuse more approach. Some islands have gone all in on this. The Seychelles, Taiwan, Bali. Some of them have launched a zero waste pilot program, and this involves banning certain plastics, incentives for refillable containers, expanding the deposit return programs, encouraging businesses to reduce packaging. Waste you never create is waste that you never bury or burn. And some islands, include like the Bahamas, they export waste. That's kind of a tricky one, though. It has some big drawbacks to it. High transportation costs, environmental concerns, and depending on a foreign policy of some other place to take your trash, your garbage. And there's modern incineration, and this is quite different from waste to energy. Some islands use high temperature incineration simply to reduce volume up to 90%, even if they don't generate electricity. It's cleaner and more controlled than the old burn pits of many decades have passed. But for a growing island, incineration can be a bridge solution, especially while you're waiting for to get a larger infrastructure or something permanent in place. And there's a hybrid where you put an element of all of this together, and waste to energy, aggressive recycling, composting, smaller tipping sites, green waste deposits, policy changes to reduce waste. And the regen had several elements into it. The waste to energy, the recycling, and landfill with lined where the ground was lined so that nothing would leach into the ground. We do have a caller standing by there, so let's go to the phone lines. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon to you, Charlo.
I haven't heard from you in such a long time.
Well, sometimes rather just listen when I can. But anyhow, there's lots to talk about, of course, but speaking of a topic that's important there, and you offered many solutions there, what you're saying. What we've got to realize is waste to energy, it's usually not there. Going to the gases that are produced from the landfill, the garbage, etc., that can provide heat for some form of motive power, like a turbine engine or so forth. But many of the islands you mentioned, they have rivers, so they have fresh water that they can provide steam turbines. And by heating the boiler, then you provide the steam to drive the turbine, to drive the generator, to provide the electricity. Because you got to have something, some motive power to provide electricity. Usually it's a generator. But of course we're dabbling with solar power and all that now, and that has its drawbacks, as we know. But anyway, the main thing is requiring massive land area for the solar panels and all that. But there's one other option, and you spoke about what the Bahamas does, and you can do that. Find a country large enough, like someone had suggested Haiti a long time ago. That's, they're very, let's say, poor and so forth, and if they have space, and might be able to handle it. If the barge, like you say, the cost of getting it by barge to them, that's one option also, a portion of it going there, a good portion. And the recycling thing, as I've always said, it has to be done at home, and barrels specifically marked for plastic, something like how they do it in Canada. They're successful there. And the garbage trucks would pick it up themselves. They'd have special trucks those days, and you put the garbage aside, because there are a lot of poor people here who can't afford to carry their plastics and the bottles and that to these drop-off points. We know that. That is a point of contention right there. Government could provide those containers, spend extra money on that, because you're going to have to do something about it. And as I said before, the Mount Trashmore, the hill they're building here, the mount, it looks a heck of a lot better than the pile of garbage, and it's coming along nicely, looking nice and green, and we'll see they're building that up and so forth. And we have man-made lakes all over. Nobody wants to talk about that, and they look pretty good. And many of these high-paid salary people here who have come here to live, lawyers, accountants, etc., and the people in the financial world, economists, they might be living in those condos and townhouses right around those lakes. We know this, that are man-made. They're not natural there. They're made by dredging up land and so forth. And another suggestion I made many years ago, and others have done it also, I've mentioned it many times, is putting a smaller garbage dump, if you want to call it that, or you want to call it garbage, the facility. What?
Landfill?
The landfill. I'm going to call it that because it's a landfill in a way, but not really with the same thing as marl and whatever, rock. But put one in each district. I don't mean the 19 districts like that, but in each district, West Bay, Georgetown proper, and then which is where one is right now, and then the main one, the only one. Then you could have one in Borden Town there, among the quarries that had been.
Well, they're going to put some smaller drop-off points. Some
Yes, you do.
For organic stuff, especially green.
I know, mulch and all that, but we can, it could be done that way also, which would lessen anyone being too overburdened with it, and then you can think about the waste energy aspect of it. It might be able to get from these small ones enough power from the gases to power some small type of engine that would provide the power for the crushing on the different things and the lights for the facilities and all that. So take the strain off of CUC, and then but the aspect of the recycling is necessary, as I think, but it must be done by the government providing those bins to the people, special bins. But, Charles, what I just wanted to mention is this. As we see and listen to the government meetings recently and all that, it hammers home what I've always said. Our system of taxation is not the right one. Consumption-based, depending on that, is not working. We need to implement some form of direct income tax. Direct income tax, the only fair tax, really. You pay according to what you earn. And we have people who have come here earning humongous salaries. And really, they aren't paying in the proportion what people are paying because we fees our taxes. We just can call fees are usually set things. Taxes is usually based on a percentage based and etc. But the system is just not fair. And the money, we're going to run out of money if we think we can keep building roads for these cars. We're importing so many cars, and depending on the taxes from the cars, which is duties, we can call it that if you want, the same taxes, and to carry us on into oblivion. But it's that's not working. That's not working. If we were to tax these people accordingly and make it that all the portions of it goes towards health, you do away with this mandatory health insurance for the private people and that they can't afford, and that doesn't really offer much benefit at all, and the government has to take up that slack. And it's so simple, but we don't want to do anything the simple way. And provide each person pays a small amount and it will be paid to the government instead of paying it to insurance companies and so forth. And
a sort of national health insurance program?
Yes, national health insurance they have in many countries. We know that, all of Europe. And that's how it's done when they have a free medical care for their people. That's what it comes from. A tax and so forth. And the same thing, it applies to education, it applies to everything, and you have to pay it. They have to pay it. And it's only a small percentage amounts. It's nothing near to what, if you work it out, what they're paying for their health insurance policies, the private sector, for these little people and so forth. It's wouldn't be anywhere near that, not even close to it. And it would be there, the benefits would be there, the same benefit that the millionaire, high-end salaried people get, they would get. Everybody would benefit from it. And the providers, the health providers, must accept these policies and this provision the government has made, just as they do in other countries. If you want to have your, and you can afford it, private insurance, you can also have that, but you're going to pay that tax. And I have said it before, and I will keep saying it. We've got to move towards some form of direct income tax and do away with this mandatory stuff being paid to insurance companies, the pension and the health insurance company. We have got to move away from that. It's not working for the average little man. I heard you talking with this, or someone else, it was on
yesterday
other shows. The captive insurance and what they're doing and so forth, but no one asked the question, what does that really do for the average ordinary Caymanian? Does it make insurance cheaper for him? Simple question. Does it? Does it? And the captive insurance and the other one, what's it called again? The other insurance system there.
Reinsurance?
Reinsurance and all that.
But you did have a fellow advocate yesterday. Someone was saying that they agree with you that some kind of taxation has to come into place in order for the government to sustain what we have going on here that, you can't rely on, revenue from the financial industry and consumption taxes to keep it going.
The people who are working in it, you're not going to tax them anymore like corporate taxes that they have wherever they're from. They have corporate taxes all over. You know that. Great Britain, U.S., even Switzerland. All these countries have it. But we don't need to go into that. Something like what Bermuda did. They have the payroll tax. And it works. It brings hundreds of millions of dollars a year. These big people who are in the financial world, they're earning humongous salaries. Everyone knows that. This is no secret. All the other half idiots like myself here, they know it. These people are earning humongous salaries. Lawyers, accountants, and people involved in the financial world, and
Mickey,
they wouldn't live the life they live. Anyway, just thought I'd toss that out there.
Hey, always welcome to put your thoughts on the air.
More to explain to it, but anyway, you have a very good day. I listen.
Yeah, have a good Easter, Mickey. We're going to take a break, and we have a caller on the line, so just hang in there for me. We'll be right back.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. The ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom. The land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Kirk Freeport's Easter at Bayshore is back. Hop over to the Bayshore Mall on Saturday, April 4th from 4 to 6 p.m. for an egg straw special Easter celebration. Meet the Easter Bunny, enjoy sweet treats, and join the fun with a scavenger hunt, chocolate prizes, face painting, games, and more. And the best part? It's all free, including free parking behind the Bayshore Mall. Visit KirkFreeport.com for details. Happy Easter from everyone at Kirk Freeport.
What matters most to you right now? The cost of living, housing, jobs, healthcare, safety? The Cayman Islands government has set 7 national priorities for 2026 to 2028, focused on areas that affect daily life, from preparing Caymanians for opportunity, to improving quality of life and social stability, to strengthening Cayman's long-term resilience. Learn more about the 7 broad outcomes at gov.ky/priorities. 7 priorities, 1 Cayman.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
That's what we want to know, and we have a caller on the line now ready to tell us what's on their mind. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. Nice to hear you again.
You ready for Easter?
Oh, yes. Easter readiness, in my mind, is sort of a readiness of the heart. Because I still stick to more the traditional meaning of Easter, which is the resurrection, the death and resurrection. So, yeah, I'm ready for Easter. Now, I was just listening to your last caller. I actually want to endorse everything that gentleman said. It's really foolish of us to keep kind of putting our heads in the sand, hoping that some magic portion, something is just going to happen and we're going to be okay. We won't need to find other sources of income. And honestly, the same old every budget term, just adding fees, that's become so old and it's just not even creative. You just look at how many fees are there and see what you can tack on to each one. I think they're in a pay grade that should have them thinking way above that level. And we can only run so long from taxes because we're already taxing. It's just that our taxes are very, very unfair. I mean, just think for a moment about import duty, which is where we get a significant amount, right? So, Charles, let's say, and I know milk is duty-free, I think it is, but let's use milk. And milk's gone up by $1 per gallon across the board because import duty went up on it. And this is hypothetical. I need the listeners to know that. No, for somebody earning the minimum wage with a couple of children at home and they need the milk, that $1 per gallon, or let's use fuel, that $1 per gallon is significant. But to the person who is earning in the six figures per month, because we have those, that dollar is neither here nor there. So a dollar is not really always a dollar. It's not equal in everyone's budget, because it's highly disproportionate the way that it's done right now. Whereas if you are paying on either on what you earn or what you're taking in from property rentals or whatever form of income there is, that is directly proportionate to what you're earning. And I have been pushing this one, every government, but I don't know. People are too afraid to do anything. It's a pity it didn't fall on to Michael Miles. We need to do an annual property tax on luxury properties, on high-end properties. It's ludicrous that the government only gets that 7.5% one time, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah, they can sit on that property, that multi-million-dollar property forever and never have to pay the government anything again.
Never. Now, how ridiculous is that? And you know how many people sell and resell and how much money can be made on one property? Now, of course, every time it changes ownership, the government again gets this little tippling of 7.5. But that's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to those who are holding large land tracts, some are undeveloped, or these vulgar amounts that people are now paying for luxury condominiums. It makes my blood curdle when I hear about $20 million apartments and all of that. And they pay one time, and if we're not lucky, they beg the government to give them a break on it.
And if you're in that category, a small percentage every year is probably nothing to you also. That's, chump change.
And I'm talking about 2 or 3%. Only yesterday, I think there was an article on something to do with real estate, and they referred to it as a $1.36 billion industry. We need some of that money. The government needs to earn some of that money. We need to earn some off of the top of what flows through here. We may charge the managers a little, but the money goes through here, and we don't even skim 0.25% off of it, whereas the people who are managing these funds and all of that, they can charge whatever fees they feel like. They put them up when they feel like. They're not controlled by anybody. Banks can charge. I wish somebody would try to control the bank fees. I just had to call my bank and say, my God, what is it? Is this an April Fool joke? What I see got debited out of my account yesterday as monthly bank charges. They don't have to ask permission from anybody, and they're certainly not worried that their customers are going anywhere. So why is it that the Cayman Islands government or financial secretary in our departments, whoever they are, whether it's SEMA that controls them, why do we tiptoe and pretend that act as if we're walking on eggshells and we can't touch anything because they might run? Where are they going to run to? Where are they?
Well, I have heard the opposite argument, right? That, people who are dealing in the millions and millions and billions of dollars, if they can get a company formed cheaper in a different jurisdiction that, they trust, they're going to do it because, they watch how much they are spending on what forming a company as much as we might watch what we're spending at the grocery store, right?
Okay.
If they could get it cheaper in, the Virgin Islands or someplace, that's where they're going to go. They're not going to come to Cayman. I don't know. We have a pretty good reputation. People, look at us as a premier, financial center. So whether they would really do that, I don't know. But it seems like we should be making more than we are, doesn't it?
We definitely should be making more. And when we talk about an annual property fee or tax or commission, call it what you wish. I'm telling you, there's nowhere that they can go, that they can own properties worth in the millions and not pay something to the government every year. When they find that place, they'll go there, but it does not exist.
Well, I'm hearing more and more people advocate for, some kind of taxation. I've even heard people advocate that reduce the import duty and do a sales tax. As far as consumption-based kind of taxation, that a sales tax would work out better than import duty. Hello, are you there?
That is more fair than the across-the-board taxation on what comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I only buy $50 worth of stuff, I'm paying sales tax on $50, and the person who can buy 5,000 pays it on 5,000. So even that, I think, is better. We have so many things, though, that demonstrates a lack of will on the part of, and when I say government, I think you know what I mean. Whoever it is that governs the island has nothing to do with the elected members. I think it has nothing to do with them. There's an article in either yesterday or today's Compass that says legal loophole leaves Cayman accident victims exposed to financial ruin.
Yeah,
Did
I saw
you
that.
read that by any chance?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that is a totally unregulated insurance industry. And the lawyer who is pushing to get some changes, he is from the UK. And he tells exactly how the law is in the United Kingdom and how it does not leave the victim to be the one to fight insurance companies. Insurance companies are nobody easy for you to take on. Trust me. They are some of the richest institutions in the world. And they would spend everything to avoid paying you one thing. They'll just fight you out in court. So this lawyer, Christopher Perry, who I publicly want to applaud him for even bringing it up, is not just bringing it up. He's given them the example of how it's done in our, quote, mother country.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things done in our mother country that if they were emulated here, we would be so much better off. One is waste collection. And I don't understand how we can have a deputy at the DEH who is from the United Kingdom, who worked in waste management over there, and he hasn't tried to advance anything here, or if he's tried, obviously he's been shot down because nothing has come of it. That's Mr. Haworth, and I was so full of hope that and I'm speaking now regular household garbage collection. It should be so easy, so simple, so separated with vehicles. Oh, gee. It's kind of beyond me to think that we believe we're a first world country, but we're still operating, I don't know, what do we call it? Somewhere below the third world countries that we are so anxious to run down. But on this insurance thing, now that Christopher Perry of Perry in England has brought it up, I hope a lot of people will jump on that bandwagon and help bring about changes to these, in my opinion, rogue insurance companies, except they are licensed to to do what they do, and that's to rip people off.
Yeah, it's really a shame that, someone badly injures you because they were driving under the influence, drink driving, as they call it, and that voids their insurance.
Yeah.
So you're left injured to pay your own medical bills and recover and rebuild your life, and the insurance company gets off scot-free.
Gets off scot-free because they found a way of telling their insured person, hey, your insurance was null and void. But, I mean, we continued to collect your premium, though,
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, no, it is ludicrous beyond description, Charles. And that loophole is one that definitely needs to be closed in. And so many other areas, like the caller before also spoke about paying into a national health insurance, because private insurance companies, again, they just refuse. They turn you down. You pay high premiums, good at collecting premiums, but don't you dare talk about a claim. I paid a workman's compensation claim the first time ever after paying in for 10, 15 years. And it's taken 3 months, and they still haven't stopped asking for things, and they haven't paid out a penny.
Listen, I have to take a break. I'm like 6 minutes over my break time.
Why don't you go straight into your 2 o'clock news?
All right. But thanks for calling. It's been great talking to you.
Okay, good. You have a happy Easter.
You too.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Be right back.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
CUC is celebrating 60 years, and we're taking the energy up a notch. Don't miss our anniversary surprise May 1st on empoweringcayman.com.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The Ministry of Education and Training invites eligible Caymanians to apply for a local scholarship for the 2026-2027 academic year. To apply for a local scholarship or learn more about the various scholarship offerings, please visit the Scholarship Secretariat's website at www.moescholarships.gov.ky. Applications close on Thursday, 30th of April, 2026. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education and Training.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And a couple of WhatsApp messages here. Well, actually links, I guess. But one person was kind of calling us on a technical error. It says recycling cannot happen in Cayman. What we do in Cayman is separate items. Recycling needs machinery. Well, yeah, I mean, we separate the items, but ultimately they're recycled, right? It might not, the actual recycling may not happen here, but the first part of that process is, and then it might happen some other place. We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Afternoon again, Charles.
Yes.
My thanks, Miss Lorna. Amen to what she said. Amen. We don't have the time for us to really discuss this thing. And we'll always be challenged by the big people she mentioned. Insurance companies are very powerful and all that. We wouldn't have that problem in the United States either with that accident victim not able to collect.
No fault insurance?
Never happened. We know that. There are lawyers there who really stand up and are able to get benefits for people. And that wouldn't happen. You know that.
But that's part of they have a no-fault insurance, right? Like,
anything can happen.
Yeah, because I think everybody's insurance take care. If I hit you, my insurance will take care of me, and then they will sue your insurance company for to be
yes
reimbursed.
But it doesn't matter. There are lawyers, injured lawyers who take care of that, and they will get money. They're not going to play around like these guys here. Anyway, I won't bother to get into that aspect of it. But what Ms. Lorna was saying is it's a fact. We're going to have to look at these things. We can't keep tacking on little fees every time a new budget comes up, and it's just not working. It's not working. It's not feasible. And from the very beginning, I've spoken against the health insurance thing and the pension thing. Any money that's taken mandatorily out of people's salaries should be paid to the government. I've never heard of any country in the world where that happens. It must be paid to the government as a tax. And it's mandatory. It's the law. You used to have that on the radio. They don't say it anymore. They don't say it anymore, but they used to say, it's the law. It's the law. You know, to pay insurance and pay the pension and stuff. Bunkum. You can't take money out of my salary and give it to some insurance company, make themselves much, much richer than they already are. It's the only business in the world, and I have good friends in it, when you utilize the services that they sell you and you're paying for, they raise your payments or they penalize you. When you go to a hardware store and you keep buying from them or anywhere, they give you discounts because you have used the services you're paying for and so forth. But that's not with insurance. It's the other way around. You get penalized.
Well, the only ones making money on the pension, too, I think, are the pension providers.
Yeah, and they're sending it over there, and those people are paying income tax on the people who are handling it, and they're paying on the blue chips and whatever chips they put it on, just like playing poker. It's all a gamble. We know that. Insurance is a gamble. They're gambling on you losing, which is what the casino does. They win, but some people do win, and that's how it is. But we can't. It's a business created by people that say we need it. They put airbags in cars, and that the insurance companies are behind that. They can deny it. They can say whatever they want, but what does it do? Thousands of people have been seriously injured by airbags in cars. And many people have been killed, and there are huge claims being, just as I said, by lawyers. They're in claiming on them for these injuries. Hundreds of thousands of people, thousands have been
class action suits
injured by airbags, and people there are billions being paid out in the United States for it. A system. We are not sure whether it works or not, but we lived before that with cars and that. Anyway, that's how it is, the money talks. But we've got to wake up and realize that we cannot just keep depending on the duties on cars and stuff, bringing it in, because we're going to run out of road space. And we keep importing the cars. We need the duty. We need this, and we can't do that. We have to find a way to live with the money that's here, we know it's billions of dollars. They'll all say, oh, well, it's passing through and they'll get up and leave here. No, bunkum, I've used her. They're not going to leave. They're not going to leave. Wherever they go to, they're going to have to pay some form of tax and something, and they'll find a way to get their money out of them. And this is one of the reasons why I suggested that we put a hold on this giving us status and so forth, because eventually we're going to be outnumbered. Because what at the voting polls, that's the important thing. They will have their say.
Well, they'll have to wait, 20-something years now? 20 years? Mickey, I got to break in on you because I got to.
God bless. Have a great Easter.
You too.
Remember the reason for it. So holy time, very holy time, for the death and resurrection, important part of our Lord Jesus. Take care now.
Take care. It's 2:00. Let's go to the newsroom.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, and right. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With your latest headlines, I'm Elizabeth Charles. The credit union is promoting land and home financing in their latest newsletter under Build Your Dream Home. It offers fixed rate options of 5.75% for 3 years or 5.99% for 5 years. Financing up to 95% for first-time homeowners and up to 90% for those switching from other institutions. In international news, President Donald Trump has posted video of an airstrike on a bridge in Iran, saying the, quote, biggest bridge in Iran comes tumbling down, and warning Tehran to make a deal before it's too late. Iranian officials say 2 people were killed in the strike on the bridge and others were injured. In other news, China is stepping up as a would-be peacemaker in the Iran war, joining Pakistan to push a 5-point plan for a ceasefire and reopening the Strait of Hormuz. The BBC reports Beijing's move comes as the conflict enters its 2nd month, choking global energy supplies and threatening China's export-driven economy. Those are the latest headlines. I'm Elizabeth Charles.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
Welcome back, and a little weather update here. It's 83 degrees in Georgetown. It feels like 89. The wind is out of the east-southeast at about 8.5 knots, and the forecast is calling for scattered showers throughout the rest of the afternoon and through tonight. Winds are expected to be out of the east at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts, and seas are running at 3 to 5 feet. And if you look on the radar here, yes, we have, some showers out there in the waters around us. So you can expect, a shower or two for the rest of today and into the night. And hopefully, it'll be clear for the weekend. So, if you're going camping and all that, keep your fingers crossed. You have a nice weekend out there. So one of our callers pointed out this story that's in the Compass about a legal loophole leaves Cayman accident victims exposed to financial ruin. That's James Whitaker, good journalist. He always comes up with some good stories there, and this is showing how someone who's injured by another driver, and for whatever reason, whether it was drunk or some other reason that the other driver insurance is found to be void, the victim is left to his own resources as far as medical cost, which maybe he can get from his own health insurance, but the person who injured them, the insurance company just says, well, you were over the limit, so hey, your car insurance is not valid. It says you're not supposed to be driving drunk if you're under this policy here, so we're not paying anything. And how can that be right? Everybody is supposed to have car insurance. If you hurt someone else, especially, because you got that the third party thing, right? Not the comprehensive, but third party to take care of damage that you may cause or injury that you may cause through your own fault. But if they can find a reason to void your insurance, they can, and the victim of the accident is left on their own. And that certainly doesn't seem right, just looking at it. And as our caller was pointing out, this attorney, Christopher Perry, has raised this question. It's in the story, quoting from the story here, it says, unlike in the UK, for example, Cayman law does not require insurers to compensate third-party victims when a motor insurance policy can be avoided or invalidated. Under British law, he said, where an insurer has provided insurance for a vehicle, that insurer is required to settle any third-party claims arising from an accident involving that vehicle, even in cases involving material non-disclosure, fraud, or licensing issues, such as driving while disqualified. You still got to take care of the person that was injured by the car that you insured, right? That sounds to me like what car insurance is all about. And I mentioned in places like the U.S., Canada, I think also Australia, you have what you call no-fault insurance. And I guess that's sort of what the law is in the UK too, from what I just described. But, yes, Australia is one of them that have no-fault insurance. And under that, your own insurance takes care of you, right? Each driver's car insurance will take care of them, for your medical bills and even lost wages. You're hurt so bad that you can't go to work. And that's regardless of who is at fault, right? It restricts lawsuits to lower litigation costs, often referred to as personal injury protection. And here's some examples. After a car accident, you use your own no-fault policy to pay for hospital visits and rehabilitation up to policy limits without waiting for insurers to determine fault. Lost wages. If you're unable to work due to injuries, your own insurer provides compensation for lost income. Passenger coverage. Your policy covers injuries sustained by passengers in your vehicle. Single vehicle accident. You hit a tree. No fault coverage applies to your medical expenses, even though the accident was entirely your fault. Personal injury protection. That's what the common term that comes from the States. And first party coverage, that's another term often used for personal injury. And no-fault automobile insurance. That's what it's known as. So, I mean, this story highlights this discrepancy. It's a loophole, right? And people involved in an accident that have been injured by someone else can just be left hanging, and depending on their financial, resources, it's possible for their whole life to be ruined because they don't have the resources to get all the rehabilitation that might be necessary to get them back so that they can once again be able to earn a living. Because, car injuries can be, very, very drastic. People can take an awful long time to recover depending on just how badly their injury was. And if you don't have the money to try and get yourself the kind of rehabilitation that you might need, you may never be back to where you were. And isn't that the whole concept of insurance? That if there is an accident, that there are funds that are going to be provided to settle any damage or injury that occurred into that accident. I mean, what is it for if it can just be voided by the insurance company? Back to this story here, Perry, the lawyer, said the solution is for insurers to compensate victims first and then seek recovery from the offending driver, or I guess their insurance. He noted that insurers can hedge against such losses through their premium structures and are far better equipped to litigate than accident victims. Insurance companies are good for the money. That is the real protection. He added that the problem is more widespread than many appreciate. Changing the law to reflect the UK regime would protect victims and the government, which often ends up funding health care for those who cannot pay from such expenses. It goes on here. The proposals include two key legislative changes that address subtle different problems. Amending the law to require insurers to compensate victims first, even where the policy can be avoided due to non-compliance with its terms or material non-disclosure. Establishing a central compensation fund, similar to the UK's Motor Insurers Bureau, to cover cases involving uninsured or untraced drivers. So hopefully that is going to be brought to the attention of those who can change the legislation and, make insurance real for everybody. Have to take a break. Be right back.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments from April 13 to 17 at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, Botox, filler, cosmetic enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email dr.porterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That is 946-9020.
Attention all farmers, importers, exporters, and valued customers. The Department of Agriculture made an important upgrade to better serve you. Effective immediately, their main reception will be accepting card payments only for key services such as rabies vaccinations, import and export permits, farmers' ID cards, animal adoptions, and processing. No cash payments will be accepted for these services at reception. This change will provide a more efficient service for everyone. So, remember to bring your debit or credit card when visiting the Department of Agriculture. For more information, call 947-3090.
My earliest recollection when I was in high school is looking forward to Saturday mornings. Radio K-Man had my favorite show, the Top 15 Countdown. It was then hosted by Lomax Mankin and sponsored by Funky Tanks. A couple years later, I got a job there. I was able to host that same show all by myself. It would be a countdown of the 15 best-selling records on the island, one by one, till we get to the top. Those were the good old vinyl days. This is Alfred T.A., Radio K-Man. Want to wish you a happy 50th anniversary and keep on jamming till infinity and beyond.
Radio K-Man's Talk Today. What is on your mind, K-Man?
Welcome back. Well, we've touched on a number of things here. I mean, what to do with our waste disposal. How are we going to handle that? Because time is running out and the population keeps growing. We've also touched on we need to have tax on certain things in order to keep the government running the way it is and sustain this whole modern Cayman that we have evolved into. And we do have a caller, so let's see what they're thinking about today. Good afternoon, you're on the air. Hello, you're on the air with Talk Today.
How you doing, man?
Yeah. You're on.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I just wanted to make a mention of an incident that, occurred back with the insurances.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been maybe in the 90s or so, where he had one after another, 3 hurricanes that just, followed, and next one short coat. In the Eastern Caribbean, did a lot of destruction up there, so the whole cruise ship itinerary had to change to the Western Caribbean,
Yeah.
Mexico, Cancun, Cozumel, Jamaica. And even though we didn't have any claims, the insurance is still went up here,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, I've heard someone trying to justify something who was aligned with insurances, but if they can really do that, how much autonomy do they really have? I mean, where is our leaders and all that, though? I mean, if we are so vulnerable that we will get, charged for things that is so far away from us that we don't have anything to do with, claims of whatever. I know, in other circumstances, when you have, various products in worldwide go up, oil, plastic is made from oil, and, et cetera, you'll find things going up everywhere. But that is more or less kind of isolated situation. How is that allowed to happen?
Well, the explanation that they always give is that when we go and get insurance from a provider here, it's not them that's really doing the insurance. They are reinsured by these international reinsurers, right?
Yeah, Lloyd's of London, them. Yeah, I know that.
And so the international reinsurer had to pay the claims down Eastern Caribbean, and so they throw it back on everybody, whether we had any hurricane that came on that year or not. It's it seems rigged, doesn't it?
Yes, I mean, it's like I say, how much autonomy do they really have to the point that they can do, whatever they feel like, and then it is almost to a point is a foregone conclusion. But this really is a hopper hunting ground for a lot of people who have taken advantage of this place too.
Yeah. Well, this in Florida too. People, the house insurance in Florida has gone beyond the average person. A lot of people, unless they got a loan or something that requires them, they go without house insurance.
Because of this kind of liability?
Yeah, because, Florida gets hurricanes for sure.
Yeah, they're practically in hurricane belt.
Yeah.
Louisiana, but that's all things considered. But at the same time, if you have a jurisdiction that is like almost to a point where, we don't have, what if I just mentioned that scenario was to happen once every year? What do you think would happen then? I mean, things are expensive now.
Oh, gosh.
You know what I'm saying? And we got to prepare for things that is unforeseen, because everything's a possibility. Things in life many times is highly unlikely, but all things are possible.
It's almost like these days when you talk about insurance and I guess other things too, nothing is local anymore.
I know.
It's all tied into this international thing.
Yeah,
and it's
a global network.
Yeah.
Thing that seems to affect everyone and everything. But, there's still got to be some resistance put up against it, or is there and we don't know about it. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Is resistance being put up, but we the people don't know about it, or is it real, or is it just a matter? Oh yeah, it's just the way things are, and that's the way they're going to be. Almost like sometimes you take it for that too. But I just want to say in closing, Salo, that it's a pity, and I would hope that a lot of people would have their ears really wide open and feel and try to learn a lot from when people like Mr. Hulston talk. Because, like I said before on the previous talk show, I did mention that nobody wakes up in the morning and learn like what that man learned. And Miss Lorna, she actually has, a lot of, knowledge condition that she actually can, help a lot of people with too. But it seems like, prophets never honored in their own country. But thing is, those people wouldn't be with us forever. Why not utilize? I still can't believe, like people like that. I know he was the government worker for quite a while, the civil servant. But people like Mr. Raymond Scott, I think he is, but I can't brag.
Yeah.
With the kind of services that he offering, I thought someone like him should be eligible for some type of stipend or something, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not just a goodwill gesture that he's doing. I mean, this is a, national importance, that he can actually, inform us a long time ahead of things that is perilous or that has significant bearing on all of Cayman. Is we at a stage in Cayman, how we develop, is that it's like we got to affect individually for to have a national concern. that seems to be where we are. It's how we evolved over the last 50 years. It's like if it's not really affecting me, I couldn't care less. I got my life to live, and so be it. But that's a mistake that we all have made, because we have to be unified in order to have any type of impact socially, when it comes down on standing for national issues. And I really don't see that. And like I just said, I think that's some of the reasons why. It's easy to say why things is not working, but it's always the underlying issue, how it got there.
Yeah.
But we have to really actually give people credit, like I say, give them flowers when they live in. And like that man, it's like, I've listened to him a lot, and it's not many things that I could have any dispute about what he's saying as being a reality. That we could really learn a whole lot by implementing many of the things that he is saying. So just want to say that big up Mr. Hurston, long live. And here's hoping that there's a lot of other people that's listening, because in Cayman we have a lot of silent listeners, what is it? Silence gives consent. But in what regard sometimes, in what regard sometimes it's not the best for us either. But again, we just hope that everybody's learning from a lot of what this man is saying. And I have a lot of the same opinions that he has when it comes down on taxation, whatever. You just can't paint everybody with the same brush, and one size definitely don't fit all.
For sure.
So, the things that he's making mention of, need to be looked into seriously, by or people who are leaders who make the laws, what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
learn from
that 3-letter word is a dirty word in Cayman, right? Tax. Like nobody wants to, we say stamp duty instead of tax.
Yeah. It's
import duty instead of tax.
Yeah, it makes which actually almost the same thing, but it's a little different. But the money is still.
It's still a tax.
Actually, but yeah, the tax thing. But again, though, it's a reality that eventually we can have to face, because what we are doing, the kind of model that we have here, it's not really. We last a long time, but it's not really that sustainable, to have such a humongous national budget, and the way that we get money just by, let's think, we need X amount, and let's put up on this issue. Yeah, this one, we can put up on this, we can put up on that. That is going to have a serious domino effect, and it has already.
Yeah,
we got to find a way. You got so many people here that it is reaping, the benefits of the Cayman Islands as it is global geographical location, proximity to the U.S., being under the UK. But at the same time, I think the till need to be actually tipped a little bit more, feel aware. And I hear people say, "Oh, I heard that before. They'll go somewhere else and blah blah blah." But again, like what Mr. Lonnie was saying, where can they really go that they get away with zero? No. There's not such thing. There's no free meals out there. You got to pay for your passage, and it's unfortunate. But it works so far. But I don't think it's, especially from here on in, I don't think it's that sustainable. Our model, we need actual modification in many aspects, and we need to be more bold and brave. Costello saying that, have a good one, man.
Yeah, you have a good Easter. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, man, all the best.
Take care.
That's nice.
Well, let's see, we got a WhatsApp message here. It says, the irony of this insurance robbery is that the Cayman Islands government ends up picking up the tab. If someone has to be flown off island or whatever the medical requirement is, they are not going to deny service. They provide the services and the bill goes unpaid because generally the victim does not have the funds or health insurance reaches the limit. So the HSA ends up having to write off the debt. You would think that fact alone would act as a catalyst for government to do something to regulate this rogue industry. So that's one thought there about the whole insurance situation that we were talking about, where if car insurance is, found to be void because of whatever situation the person was driving, that no payment is made, and if the person goes in the hospital, if they don't have the funds or they don't have their insurance, hey, the government ends up picking up the tab there. Well, we're coming down to the end of the line here. Thank you to all the callers, and thank you for tuning in. Easter is here, and you have a great Easter. Enjoy it. Stay safe, everybody. I'm going to be seeing you right here on the radio on Tuesday. I'm Charles Glidden. One love.
Talk Today is brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.